So I wanted to just do a quick tutorial showing how to do the garter tab cast on for the Alpenglow shawl. So you can begin with a slip knot if you like. I actually just begin with my yarn set up to do a long tail cast on. I take my needle, I go over the top of the yarn, down, and then I bring it underneath and twist, and that's my first stitch. But like I said, you can use the long tail or the slip knot cast on if you prefer. All right, so I just hold that stitch here and then I make my next stitch. All right, so I've got 2 stitches on the needle. Now I'm not going to cinch that down real tight. You want it a little bit loose. And every time I knit a row, I'm going to grab the bottom of this with both fingers and just tug slightly to straighten the stitches out. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to knit 4 rows. Okay, so here we go. 1, and see, I'm going to grab this whole thing and just give it a slight tug to straighten my stitches out. Turn. Two. Same thing, whole thing, slight tug. This is the 3rd row. Slight tug. Turn. Work the 4th row. Tug. Okay, and then I'm going to turn to work the 5th row. Now what I want you to notice is, let's go ahead and work the, so this is set up 6, and I'm going to work the first 4 stitches, and then I want to show you. So I'm going to knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. Okay, now this just looks like a mess. I don't know how you pick up any stitches from this. That's because when you work the garter stitch rows, they wanted to twist this way. Okay, so they started over here, and every time you turned, they twisted around. So you're just going to grab the very end, and you're going to untwist it until you see 2. I'm going to hold that there. So it looks like I need 2 twists. So now I have a row of garter right here. See, I need like one more hand to point here. I have a row of garter right here, 2 little bumps right there, and then I have another row, untwist this again, down here, and little garter bumps right here. So I'm going to hold that untwisted a little bit. So it's a little fiddly because I got to hold this yarn over up here, and I need to hold down here. But I'm literally going to find 2 bumps, 1 bump right here. So I could go through this one, or I could go through this one. It doesn't really matter, just go through one of those bumps, and then one of the bumps up closer to the needle here. Right there. All right, so I've picked up 2 stitches, and I'm just going to knit those. So I have my knit, yarn over, and now I'm just going to knit the 2 stitches that I picked up onto my needle. So knit 1, make sure it goes all the way onto the needle, knit 2. Okay, now I'm going to work another yarn over at the end of that, and now I have my end, which is again a little fiddly, but all I need to do is turn it slightly. You don't need to turn it all the way this way. You just want to find 2 bumps somewhere down here around the end that you can stick your needle through. So there's 1, whoops, 1 bump right there. And then I'll pick up a 2nd bump right there. All right, so I can't even get my needle all the way through those stitches because they're a little tight, but that's okay. I want to make sure I don't lose this yarn over, so I'm going to count one more time. All right, so I have knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, and then my next yarn over. So I make sure that comes back over here, and then I'm just going to stick my needle tip in there, knit that, push that stitch all the way onto the needle, knit that last one, push that all the way onto the needle. All right, so that's set up row 6. Now you can see that this end looks like a big giant tangled mess. That's okay. It's going to straighten out, I promise. It's not going to continue looking like that. It's not going to be all bunched up. As you work the next few rows, it's going to straighten out. So I'm going to go ahead and do set up row 7. Turn my work. All right, get my tail out of the way. So I'm going to knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, and then I'm going to place a stitch marker, and then I'm going to knit 4, 1, 2, 3, whoops, lost that stitch, grab it, 4, and then I'm going to place another stitch marker. All right, and then I'm going to knit 1, and this next stitch is a yarn over that I'm going to drop, so I'm really going to just let it slide off the needle right there, and then knit that final stitch. All right, so that's set up row 7, and already you can see this is starting to flatten out just a little bit. Okay, so I'll turn and work the first row of Twilight section A. So knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, slip my marker, all right, and then I'm going to work a yarn over, a knit front and back, and then I'm going to knit to 1 stitch before the marker, work a knit front and back, yarn over, slip my marker, whoops, or drop my marker, slip my marker, make sure I didn't lose that yarn over, and then I'm going to knit 1, again drop the yarn over, so watch, when I do this knit 1, and I'm going to drop the yarn over in the same motion, I'm just going to pull, and that's going to slide right off the needle. All right, so my yarn over that was there is now down here, and then I knit that final stitch. All right, and already it's starting to flatten out and actually look like the edge instead of that big bunch of stuff that didn't make any sense at the end of setup 6. All right, I hope that helps.